Hey everyone, it's Renee, and we are back on track for Monday. If you're like me, we kind of had a long weekend of a little too much fun, but that doesn't mean you can't have fun on a weekday. And so I'm here with a broccoli kind of cauliflower crust pizza crust. And yeah, I'm into health and fitness, and I love my fitness, but I really like to be in the kitchen and show you how to make it easy and healthy and still fun. So there's all these cauliflower pizza crusts floating all over the place, and sometimes I don't like them because they're really heavy on the cheese and the fat, and then you add all those pizza toppings on top, and then you get like a little too much going on for calories. But this one I like because I'm going to do something special at the end, so hang tight. Now, I blitzed a bunch of cauliflower and maybe a little broccoli in the blender to kind of rice it, so it's 3 cups. And I steamed it. And so then what you do is squeeze out the excess moisture with, oh my gosh, cheesecloth. No, Ethel, she's got the cheesecloth again. I know, crazy, right? And so all I'm doing is squeezing out the excess moisture like this, and it's actually just dropping on this pan, and you just squeeze out as much as you can. Now, the beauty of this, like my cold water pizza crust recipe, is that you can pop it in the freezer and save it for later. And honestly, what I like to do is I take this base recipe and kind of fudge with it a little bit so it's a little bit larger, so I can use the whole pan, or do half kids, half adults. So now I've got most of this squeezed out, and if I'm gonna freeze this, I'm really gonna do a super job of getting all the moisture out, but for today, since we're gonna pop it in the oven, that's all we're gonna do. You could use paper towel if you're like deathly afraid of cheesecloth and you've never found it in a grocery store, but seriously, it's like the cheapest, best stuff in the world. And if your kids ever need something for Halloween, you've got some, okay? So it started out as 3 cups of the florets, and that's what we're supposed to have, but if you don't have that much, that's okay. And a couple eggs, and then what you have is a half cup of mozzarella cheese and a 1/4 cup of the Parmesan cheese. And for herbs, it is some fresh basil, which makes it great, and a clove of garlic. And you just get all that in there. And so what you do is stir it all around, and then you're gonna pat it on a pan with parchment paper. And then you're gonna stick it in an oven for 400 degrees for about 15 minutes or so. And so it's really not that hard to get all on here. So I'm gonna talk for a minute as I get this on here, and then I'll be done. I'm not gonna bake this and make you watch it. So I'm gonna form it all out and have a little lip on the end. But what I'm going to do with this is, on part of it, because it's for me and I'm really hungry, I'm gonna crack an egg on it after I pull it out of the oven, and then let that bake in the oven for about 5 minutes, and you have a nice yolk egg on pizza crust that's super good for you. And don't be afraid of the egg, guys. All the essential amino acids are in an egg, including choline, which is great for your brain. My grandparents lived to be their 90s, and they ate eggs and sausage all the time. So I'm just saying, if you can get some farm fresh eggs, rock it. My nephew Ronnie gave us some farm fresh eggs, and some of them are really little and some of them are gigantic, which aren't great for recipes. So they're great for things like a breakfast pizza. Okay, so now this is all patted out, and I'm gonna bake this for 15 minutes. When I pull it out, then I'll put the egg on, or my kids' toppings. Now, I'm not gonna try to pull the wool over my kids' eyes and be like, oh, this is pizza, tastes like dough. I'm not gonna do that, because they're smart enough to do that. But what I will do is bribe them, because I'm big into that. And I will also put it in the fridge as a leftover, because it keeps great. Now see, this is what you have here, and you could just put some wax paper over this and freeze it right now. Like, normally I'd make a double batch and then freeze it. So that's all there is. Don't be afraid of this whole, oh my gosh, I can't do that, that's a lot of work. A cheesecloth, turning her off. No, don't do that, okay? I don't know how to turn this off, but I will put the recipe below if you like it, and stay tuned because it's gonna be hot later this week, and we're gonna do some breakfast on the grill. Oh, and he wanted to say hi, and so did she. Hi. Props to my nephew Ronnie for the farm fresh eggs. I believe there's some people locally that have some too, so get your hands on some of those. Now, where did I get this recipe? No, I didn't actually get it off Pinterest. I got it off the Beachbody blog. And so if you are a Beachbody member, you have access to the Fixate cooking show, and that's where I got this. I'm like, dude, if she can do that, I can so do that. And if I can do this, so can you. Have a great Monday.